Fox News. Lawrence County depends on WDXE News, on the air since 1951. This is The Legend. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
It is 8:07 and I was successful in getting all the buttons on.
So we're ready to go.
Yes, Keith Durham's in the house, and it's time for a Friends and Neighbors Hour, which is brought to you by Keller Hood Company. And we are happy to have Keith Durham in the house.
I'm glad to be here, and it's a day early than I'm usually.
Yeah, you'll be here tomorrow for the Quick Mart Hour, which is that's
maybe. I've got a lot of meetings in the morning, so I've got to sort of juggle things around tomorrow.
Okay, well we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We can always handle it if you can't be here.
Yeah. Everything starts about 8:30 tomorrow. Well, we start a radio show at 8.
Oh.
So it's going to be tough. A lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a busy time.
It is.
School started back.
Yeah. And my son's a freshman, so
oh wow!
I drop him off. We can see high school from my house.
Yes,
but he's got to ride to school. I got to drop him off. Just walk to school, dude.
Yeah, he could.
He doesn't want to do it. He wants to ride.
Well,
because he wants to wait till the last minute fixing his hair. So he's got to take every second of the day that he has to fix that.
His hair. I get tickled at Daniel too because he seems to spend a lot of time primping.
Yeah. And that's what I'm asking. For who?
For who? For who? All right.
Was you that busy about your appearance?
There were times. I'm sure there were times when I was.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was back in the part your hair down the middle days when I went to high school.
I always wanted my hair to do that. It would not do it. I had kind of unruly hair, to say the least.
Yeah, I didn't keep mine that way. I was too lazy to keep mine that way. But I did have it feathered. I had it parted down the middle and feathered.
And feathered.
Yeah, combed back and feathered.
I would like to have seen that. Yeah. There's probably some pictures around.
There probably are. Not many though.
Yeah. I always wanted my hair to be longer than I was allowed to have it.
Like in a ponytail or something?
Well, I just, at that day and time, I mean, it was 70s, late 70s.
Yeah.
And, guys wearing long hair was kind of still a big deal.
Yeah.
But my parents only let it grow out so far.
Yeah. And then all the Southern rock bands had long hair.
Southern rock bands. Yeah, they had, we were all into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, I'm
back
excited.
In the day, as they say.
One of the things I'm thinking about tomorrow morning is going to the City of Lawrenceburg's council meeting. They got a full agenda. Have you seen some of the?
I have not. What's on the agenda for this?
So there's a lot of ordinance, second readings on amendments to ordinances and things like that. I don't know exactly what the ordinance is. They have the ordinance numbers here, but they don't go into detail. The agenda doesn't go into detail what the ordinance is. But the big thing on the list is Bridgepoint LLC proposal for engineering and construction administration on the extension of Springer Road from Maddoxtown Road to Little Shoal Creek. So the city is employing engineers to, design and oversee that project. So
the extension of Springer Road, is that what you said?
Yeah, the extension of Springer Road. It's going to end
up. That's
been
talked about for quite some time. I thought it kind of died.
No, there's been some up and down talk about that, and whether it's good or bad or needed or not needed, or things like that. So, but if you've got short-sighted glasses on, it's probably not needed. If you got long-sighted glasses on, it's probably needed. So,
yeah.
What I wish though is, if they're going to fix Springer Road, and if there's anybody in the whole city that can talk about that, I'm going to say it's me, because I was mayor when we hired engineers to design and oversee the construction of the southern part of Springer Road.
I remember.
It is in a shambles. And, even to the point that today I wish we hadn't had wasted our money on that road. It was engineered right, but it just didn't work. So if you go, and you know what I mean, you go down, you go down Springer Road, the south end of Springer Road, it's horrible. So,
you're talking about the surface itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a roller coaster,
Yeah.
So I have my own ideas what was going on there. We hired the same engineering firm as LUS. So LUS had an engineering firm, and so they did a great job for LUS. But also, if you look at the construction of Springer Road, the south side of Springer Road, the ones that go through Crowder Field, you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like they had LUS in mind more than they had the city in mind. So we hired them to be, you know, we're their client. We want the road to be nice and smooth, but they also work for LUS, and they didn't want to reduce the size of those manhole covers. They reduced the elevation of those manhole covers.
Okay.
And so basically at every intersection, you had to raise up to the level of the manhole cover and then go down. Next intersection, raise up to the manhole cover, then go down. When they should have shaved those things off and made the road level through there. So I guess I say all that to say this. You know, you can spend a lot of money engineering, and sometimes it doesn't work. And are we proud of that? No, I'm not. I can't look at that road and say, you know, as mayor, we put that road down, and it's a shambles. And it cost a lot of money back in the day that we did it. It's been a long time ago. It's been about 2013, I think. So it's been 11 years or 12 years now since that's been done. It lasted a good little while, but I guess what I'm saying is, why not in the same deal fix the south side? Why would you want to extend Springer Road? And because what's going to happen is you're going to burden the road more. If you extend the road on up north of town, you're going to burden the road more, in my opinion.
Going to increase traffic even more.
That's right. So,
which is the intent, actually.
It is
to relieve traffic off the main road.
But well, I don't know if that's the intent at all.
No.
But Springer Road, and you can, and it was that way when I was mayor. Springer Road is the most heavily traveled city-owned road.
Yeah.
And it may not be now that the old State Route 6 is part of the road. So basically, when the state built the bypass, the Highway 64 going through the middle of town became a city road.
Yeah.
So, you know, it may now be the most traveled city road. And then it's in pieces, you know, like Buffalo Road is State Route 242. And so State Route 242 goes to the intersection of Buffalo Road and then goes out in front of Crockett Park and then goes down West Point Road. Right. So that section between Buffalo Road and West Point Road is still state highway. But everything to the east of that, all the way to the Brass Lantern, is city-owned roads.
Really?
Yes. And so, except for, you know, maybe the intersections, whatever the state route right-of-way intersections that, like Stockholm Corner.
Whether intended or not, Springer Road is used to avoid the highway.
I use it to avoid
north and south.
That's right. And so it was used, you know.
And so is First Avenue.
Exactly. You're right. First Avenue and
or at
Springer
least
Road.
I do.
So you got what I consider like major feeders, and that would be Springer Road, First Avenue, North Military, Mar Avenue, and then of course Buffalo Road is a state highway. So you've got those main north-south feeders in Lawrenceburg. Of course, North Locust itself, but I guess the reason I brought up that conversation is. We're going to see the traffic burden increase on Springer Road only to the detriment of the southern end, in my opinion. I think it's going to hurt the southern end. So
okay.
I'm not against let's build the north end, but let's take care of the south end too.
Just in need of reshaping.
It is, and policing more than anything. So what happens is it doesn't take long for these computers to catch up. So Google Maps, if you extend that road all the way up, and it won't take long for Google Maps to route you up that road if you're going to certain locations. Like if you go to Walmart, you're coming from Pulaski, and you go to Walmart, Google Maps will route you up Springer Road. And it doesn't just route you, it routes diesel trucks. So, you know, I live off of Springer Road, and there's diesel trucks on that road all the time, but there's not supposed to be. The burden of the trucks are not supposed to be on
That's
there.
true. That's true.
So, you know, it needs a little bit better policing, and those things add to the detriment of the road, if you know what I mean. So
now you're talking about big trucks.
Big trucks, yeah, 18-wheelers, and they're basically following the GPS. It says turn at Quick Mart and go to Walmart. You know.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's what's happening. So
Well, a lot of them know better.
Oh, yeah, they do, and it's tough to turn an 18-wheeler there at Springer Road and Old 64 right there. It's tough to turn one.
Interesting.
So,
817 Keith Durham's in the house, and we're solving street problems in the
yeah.
city.
So if you have any concerns about that, they're having that meeting tomorrow at City Hall,
Yeah.
and we'll see how that goes.
What else is on the agenda?
Oh, there's a lot of things on the agenda.
Anything else pressing?
No, there's a couple appointments to the beer board. Butch Newell and Peyton Salk will be reappointed to the beer board. There's amending multiple prior resolutions relating to salary supplements for certain city employees. Now, I don't know what that means, but it seems like they're making amendments to pay people a little bit extra,
Oh, okay.
depending on what they do,
Okay.
which is probably needed.
Probably so.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not opposed to paying people, a good salary.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks at the city that work outside. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say most of the folks that work for the city work outside.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but it's hot.
It's hot.
Yesterday, I was outside at a building site in Florence, and I was soaking wet within 10 minutes. And I'm the kind of person, when I start sweating, I can't stop sweating. And it gets in my eyes, and it's unreal.
I'm the same way, and my face seems to get more sweat than anywhere.
Yeah, me too.
We're right in the face. Okay. That's
Exactly.
all right. It's all right. Good deal. Good deal. Well, I don't know what else we need to talk about. By the way, if you want to talk to Keith this morning, the phone
Yeah.
lines are open, 766-9393. If you want to chime in on anything that we might talk about. We just decided to have a visit, and I know you keep up with current events, that kind of thing.
Try to.
Homeschooling has gotten in a big, a lot of conversation lately.
Yeah, it has.
And it's grown quite a bit. It's still not, an option for a lot of people.
Right.
And it may never be. That's okay. But I think people try to do the best they can with their children for the most part.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
My mom would probably went crazy trying to homeschool us.
Well,
She whipped us on the bus most days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out of the house. Let's go.
yeah, and of course we're products of the public school system, and we've done okay.
Absolutely. We've done fine.
We've done okay. And of course there are people that homeschool, and those kids are doing okay.
Yeah.
They're doing fine.
Yeah, what I like about the public school system is its interaction with other kids.
Yeah, that's true. And there's some argument to be made for that as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's see who's on the phone. Good morning. How are you? That's tomorrow morning. Yeah, we do that on Thursday.
Yeah, and we done had biscuits this morning, so we can't weigh in today.
Yeah, we're gonna do that tomorrow morning. I promise. All right. Thank you, man. Yep. I can't. People keeping up with that.
And I'm doing horrible.
People listen.
Maybe we're an inspiration.
I am trying so hard to break that
300
3 mark, and
Yeah.
I'm so close. I was very close this morning, but I haven't. So
Well,
we'll see.
That's good.
We'll see how it goes.
Keep up the good work.
I'll be close, but may not quite match. I'll be close.
And you had breakfast this morning without bread, so that's good.
I did. I behaved. I've been behaving this week. I seen there was a video I saw where this guy, he posted himself, and it's the guy. It's of course he's grown now, but it's the guy from The Sandlot,
Okay.
and he's like day 1 with no cookies, and he goes day 2 with no cookies, and he comes back day 1 with no cookies.
Have to restart all over.
Has to start all over. Hey, good morning.
Oh my goodness.
Wonderful. Good to hear from you.
Daphne and I asked about you yesterday.
Hang on just a second. I'm gonna put you on something different here. Just a second. I need to put you on speakerphone. There you go. Now you can talk.
Okay, fellas. Tuned in just a little bit late this morning, and the end of the discussion was Springer Road and the trucks.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to put my 2 cents worth in here. And like I said, didn't hear the first part of it, just heard the very last sentences, you might say.
Okay.
And there is a major, and it just tortures me. The intersection
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking that I will get to a meeting, but somehow or another I don't. It's very difficult for me to get somewhere sometimes in the mornings and maybe get to one of the meetings. But I wonder, does anybody else express their concern at that particular area?
Well,
What about that, honey?
so Daphne, while you're on the phone, let me talk to you about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Not real good, but go ahead.
Okay, so I was there this morning, and it was my turn to go, and then it wasn't my turn to go, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
So the person across from me did exactly what you were talking about. If they even come to close to stopping, it would have been a miracle. But so.
Keith, the other Sunday morning, I hope I didn't cut you off.
No,
I can't hear you real good. But the other Sunday morning, I was going to church. So I come, I stop, I take my stop like everybody else, and there was a truck pulling a trailer. And he blew through that, he just blew through it.
Yeah.
Now, if I took my foot off the brake, there's been no calling it back. There's not a day. Tybee sees that. Kip sees it. Anybody that lives in that area will see people it's just not even there.
Yeah.
And it's not about maybe taking your turn. And I go through there with Clara. I pick Clara up a lot of days. I do. And I think if you broadsided me, you wouldn't have a prayer. She wouldn't have a prayer. I wouldn't have a prayer because they'll never check up.
That's right.
So has there ever in your thinking been any kind of a conversation about putting a caution, I mean, not a traffic light? I mean, I know those things cost a fortune, but if it saved one life, it'd be worth it. But it really does. That's about the only place in town that I know of that troubles me to death. Because most places I don't know, I don't know what it is. But anyway.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so you lend a good argument to what we were speaking about earlier. If they open that road up, it just puts more traffic on Springer Road, and you'll see that more often. And so,
I mean, it's not a day. And like I said, if you don't want to take my word for it, anybody that lives in this area, all you got to do is just ease over there at the church and just sit there a little while, or even over in the Farm Bureau parking area. And I don't care if the policemen patrol that. And they do. I see them periodically sit there. But that makes no difference. They can't sit there 24/7.
Yeah.
And I just hate to see that's happening. It's going to. And then when the high school lets out, it's just a normal day. It's a dangerous thing.
It is.
What would be your suggestion on that?
So
I've been thinking that I would go down to, like I said, just go talk to the mayor, go talk to, I don't know what jurisdiction that falls under. I don't know who governs that.
yeah, that's in the city of Lawrenceburg.
Yeah.
That
Well,
intersection
I know
is the city.
that, but I'm
Yeah.
saying I don't know if that falls under the street department. I don't know who do you
Yeah.
go before the full commission or what happens?
Now, what I'll do is I'll contact the mayor about that, and he can maybe beef up some police patrol there because I have the same worries that you have. So I'll be glad to do that for you.
Well, do
Daphne.
that, but tell him that I'm politicking for a caution.
All right.
I got you. Yes, ma'am.
Now, let's go about your program. I always appreciate it.
Thank you, Miss
All right,
Daphne.
thanks for listening.
Thank you, hon. All right. She's a sweet lady.
I like Daphne.
Yes, indeed. And never at a loss for words either.
No, whenever, I need to invest. When she puts her 2 cents worth in, 2 cents turns into 20 cents. So I need to learn her point of investment. But that's a good thing.
Well, that intersection is a problem.
Yeah.
I wondered if, of course, I hate them, but a speed bump.
Hey, when you're, listen,
Not necessarily a speed bump, but one of those things that makes a racket in your tires when you're approaching.
yeah,
Just kind of a little racket
Yeah, a
to
reminder
wake
that
you
you
up
gotta
that
stop.
there's a stop sign here.
they can make it sing. They can.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Not necessarily one of those that throws you into the roof of the car, but
Right.
but something that would just alert you. And another thing about four-way stops is it seems to me that a lot of people don't know or haven't been educated on how to use a four-way
That's
stop.
exactly. I think you're exactly right about that. Do they teach any more? Do they get you in
I
a
don't
car
know.
and take you to a four-way stop and
I
say
don't
this
know.
person has the right of way or this person? Because it's
And look-
every time. It's not just that stop sign. You can go to any four-way stop in town, and you have to guess. You got to be on the defensive because
Yeah, you just have to watch. And I usually, and most of the time, we have courteous drivers. Most of the time we do. But I usually try to make eye contact.
yes, that's the key.
And
That's
so
the key.
just make eye contact with whoever's
Yes,
out there.
that's the key.
Hey, good morning. You're on WDXE with us.
No, this is Keith.
This is Keith Durham.
I'll tell you one that's really bad, and that's the new one that they put in down there at Good Hope Road where the Amish, come back in.
Yeah.
People will run that red light all the time just like it wasn't there.
Are you talking about people heading north that's coming downhill that running the red light?
Going either way, yeah,
Okay.
going either north or south.
I got
Right
you.
there on 43. They run that light just like it was never there.
So that's
You
going
have to be very careful there, very.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. And do you live on Good Hope Road by chance?
Do you live on Good Hope Road in
or
that
out,
area?
Or out Good Hope
No, I
Road?
don't live in that area. I just go through that area.
Yeah.
And you have to, like I said, you got to really watch.
So
Yeah.
there's some considerations there because
Yeah. Well, thank you, hon.
we're
Thank
try-
you.
The city's talking about extending Springer Road all the way to Good Hope, and what that does is
Going to increase traffic.
it dumps the traffic. If you're a local person, it'll dump the traffic out onto Good Hope, and
Well,
just
again,
bypass town.
they're trying to end some of the congestion that we have in the middle of the city.
Well,
and we do.
That might be good in some ways, and it might be bad in some ways. How do you
No.
think retailers up and down the main drag feel about the city bypassing? Because if you think about it, let's say places like Starbucks, they want a certain traffic count in front of their place, or they won't be there. So if you only got 1,000 cars going by a day, you can forget about having a Starbucks. But you got 10,000 cars going by a day, yeah, that's a different story.
Yeah.
So if you unload some of that traffic, what do retailers think about that?
It's fun to talk about this
Yeah,
because you make the point. And that's a good point. That for retail, you want that traffic count.
and you want it slow. You don't want it 55 miles
But
an hour.
if you're in one of those retail places trying to pull out, you don't want it.
Exactly. That's why you want to get a red light pretty close to where you're at.
So, and I say that from experience. My office is on the main drag, right across from Duncan's.
That's right.
And if you want to pull out almost any time of the day, if you want to pull out of there and turn left
Yeah.
or north, you better be prepared to wait a
A
minute.
lot of times I just turn south and
Yeah.
go around the block.
Yep. That's for sure.
We got people calling
The
in.
people calling in. Peggy, you want to chime in?
All
Hey,
right.
how are you?
Yes, this is sort of an unintended consequence, but I know this is true for me, and I was talking to a lady the other day that lives on the other side of Lawrenceburg. We locals know how to take shortcuts and avoid Springer and the interstate.
Yeah.
Now, we know how to go to the local businesses if we need to go there, but an example is it's affecting these people buying houses in areas they thought were quiet, safe for the kids to play out in the yard, the driveway. For example, let's say I'm going down Springer Road. Instead of going to that light where, unless I'm going to get my food at the little Quick Mart, I'll turn right on first, then I'll go either Parks or Caperton. And some days, one day I couldn't get through there, I had to turn around because there's UPS. To go out to Brass Lantern to avoid the main streets, I might go where you come out, you go second to get to Brass Lantern. So what's happening is, it's not only hard on the people with the big trucks, but it's affecting people by living on these little side streets they thought warm and cozy, and they're avoiding the traffic, where locals like us are beginning to cut through there. Now, I'm very, very careful when it comes to children and that, but I
Yeah.
don't know whether other people are. I just wanted to throw that out as an unintended consequence.
There you go.
You're-
Thank you. That's good. Good point.
She's exactly right. And
I do that too. I call it the pig pass. I know all the pig paths in Lawrenceburg.
yeah, and Springer Road used to be one of those, best kept secrets that locals would use, and now it's like, well, now you got to find a different way.
I wiggle through town, through the streets like she's talking about to get from one end to the other.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I know.
We have
Speaking of pig paths,
Keith, what's up?
Hey, nothing. What's going on?
I just got off the line with my bud up in Nashville.
Okay, good.
What?
We were talking about the roads up there too, it's getting congested.
Well, they got a big tunnel going in up there. Did you know that?
Did that thing pass? Is they gonna do that?
Or did it?
I don't know.
I think they've already started it.
Yeah, they're gonna have that done by September.
The bottom line is here in Lawrenceburg, today, everybody only had one vehicle.
That's true.
There you go.
That's true.
Now you've got 3 or 4.
That's right.
And there's more and more people here. Even out here at New Prospect, when they put the bypass in, we've got more traffic on the old 64 than we had before they put the bypass.
I think you're right.
I wouldn't doubt that a bit.
Yes, sir, it is. There's times when I have to wait to get on the highway down here.
Yeah.
So you know the road that you're talking about in front of your house there is it's now a county road. So if it ever gets repaved or resurfaced, it'll be a county initiative, and that's a large portion of road.
It is large.
Yeah, but yeah, Springer Road is a problem there. It's kind of like a roller coaster up through there.
Yeah, I mean you don't want to be nauseous and drive up and down that road.
Well, say like, especially say real estate agents, if they've got people they're showing houses and they go through that, that's a bad go. This is one of the main roads here, and it's terrible.
Well, you know,
That's a good point.
as an afterthought, you know, I always thought, well, what we ought to do is get the engineering firm to nail up a sign that says, "Hey, we engineered this road and we're proud of it." I wonder if they'd even do that.
Oh boy.
I doubt they'd own up to it. They've let it back on the city and people in office in, which I think you were making.
Yeah, I mean that's why I take.
You know,
I said
that's-
if there's anybody in town that can talk about that road, it's me.
That's a good thought for almost any project.
Well, I thought it was in the next meeting they were going to change the road up, the name of it from Springer to Keith Durham Boulevard.
Yeah, I like the name Ride because it's a ride when you get on that road. So
Well-
Durham Ride would be a good name.
I think Springer's an appropriate name
Yeah.
because it springs you up and down as you go.
It checks the springs on your car. That's it.
But yeah, it's just with all the people moving in, and like you say, everybody got 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. It's just a problem
Yeah.
for everybody parking and getting to going anywhere in Lawrenceburg. There's times of the day you don't even want to try to get out on 43.
Yeah, buddy.
Right.
Yeah, buddy.
But you go to a red light to get on and off.
Thursday, it used to be just Thursday afternoons and Friday afternoons. It was tough to get through town, but it's almost every day now.
You're right.
Of course, back in the day when they had dirt roads around the square, they didn't have that problem.
That's right. Thank you, Big D.
See ya.
But what they did have a problem with when they had dirt roads around the square is running pigs through the courthouse.
Running pigs through the
Because
courthouse.
there's an ordinance that you can't run your pigs through the courthouse.
Can't run the pigs through the courthouse
And
anymore.
what a shortcut that would be too. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And there were horse droppings on the square one time.
oh yeah, plenty of them.
Lots of.
So,
Oh my gosh. Well, we have not solved the traffic problem. We've talked about it,
we have,
but we haven't solved anything. But
but it's good to talk about it and get it off your chest.
somebody's always working on that kind of stuff. Really, seriously, trying to get make things better, improve them, this, that, and the other. And there's always opinions as to whether or not it's a good,
Right.
bad, or ugly.
So here, this is just my opinion, but we're getting a lot of housing developments because it's tough to build in Murray County.
That's true.
And it's not a hard drive from Lawrenceburg to Spring Hill or Lawrenceburg to Franklin. It's unless you're getting that interstate traffic. But so we're becoming like a bedroom community.
That's true.
So there's a lot of things that come with that. So you say, okay, we're building a 200 or 300 home subdivision on Good Hope Road. All right. How much are you adding on to the school system at the same time? Because 200 or 300 homes also brings in more children, which means more burden on the school system. So are those kids going to be slated to go to Etheridge or Lawrenceburg schools?
Yeah.
And so can Etheridge School hold more folks? There's a lot of things that take in consideration.
Oh yeah.
So,
There's a lot.
yeah.
Well, listen, I think we may get another report. Hey, good morning, buddy.
Boys, what's going on?
Well, are you going to give us a report on the horse traffic?
Well, no, I've had to stop that for a while.
Okay.
Hey, listen, now this
is just hearsay, but I've been hearing people talk that by Springer Road being extended on up to Good Hope Road is strictly because of that subdivision, that big 300-something house subdivision that's being built up there. That the talk is that developer was told that they would extend Springer Roads because of that, and not because of traffic, but to get it through that subdivision. Is any truth to that, Keith? Do you know anything about that?
So I do know about that. That's 100% true. If you, I have read the contract that the city of Lawrenceburg made with that developer up there, and you have to understand, there's some caveats now since time has passed. The original developer that the contract was made with has now changed. So that property has changed hands since the original contract went through.
I heard that somebody in Arkansas bought it now. I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. I'd be guessing to say that, so I'm not sure about that, Laney. But I think if you look at the property records there on that property, you would see that it's sold. And here's what gets me. It looks like, now this is just my opinion, it looks like the city of Lawrenceburg committed a lot of money into that subdivision because of the need for housing in the community. And then once the commitment was made, it resold to a different developer for a much larger price. And part of that, and if you read through the contract, the deal was to extend Springer Road up to that subdivision, which in my mind, I don't understand why that needs to be there. You know, they got Good Hope Road there and the main highway there. What does Springer bring to the project? So
it don't even make sense. I mean,
exactly.
That would be the biggest disaster of people getting on, trying to pull out the highway there at that stoplight on Good Hope Road. If they extended that and sent a lot of traffic up Springer Road, that would be a mess. Can y'all imagine on that hill right there?
Yeah, it's just like the lady that called in earlier. There's people that already violate the red light there. So
People run that red light all the time.
yeah, yeah.
Yep, it sneaks up on them, and they're not expecting it being there. It's not a good spot.
I'm telling you, it's some bad stuff going on.
Well,
I agree.
We just, be careful out there is all we can say.
Hey, thank you, boys.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Lanny.
Lanny.
It brings up some good points there.
Yep.
But yeah, that was part of that original contract for the original land purchase, for the agreement of building homes, that they would extend Springer Road up through there, and that is the reason. But the byproduct of that would be what everybody has called in, that we as locals know the shortcuts. And if I need to go to Nashville or Columbia, guess what? I'm going to go all the way up Springer Road instead of going through town.
And you would. No matter what city you live in, that's going to happen.
So we talked about the intersection at Crew Street and Springer Road, but what happens when you cross Maddoxtown? Maddoxtown's a little bit busier road, and it's a larger road, so that becomes...
There'll be another crossing, and I'm sure it'll probably be a four-way stop there.
Either that or a traffic light, because if you think about the extent of Springer Road from Old Highway 64 there at Emmanuel Church, going all the way north to Maddoxtown, you have two major intersectors, which would be Weekly Creek Road, which already has a light,
right?
And then the second major intersector would be Maddoxtown Road. And I think Maddoxtown Road is probably too big for a four-way stop.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Very well may be. Very well may be.
So you gotta think about that too.
8:41. Keith Durham's our guest today for Friends and Neighbors, and we've been hearing from friends and neighbors,
yeah, absolutely.
Which is fun. I think we'd like to have all the phone calls we could take. I don't mind that a bit. We don't have to change the subject at all. We can talk about the traffic and all that, the developments or whatever. But I was reading here something that pulled up this morning, and we've talked a little bit about schools. School just started back, that kind of thing. As parents, a lot of times we worry about our kids getting behind. Especially when they're young, this, that, and the other. And of course, we've offered early childhood education, all that kind of stuff. And I was reading an article here that research shows starting academics later doesn't put your child behind.
Wow.
How about that? In fact, it might set them up for a lifetime of curiosity and confidence. Not with drilling at age 4, not with hours of worksheets in kindergarten, not with rushing through childhood to get ahead, but with play, with wonder, with time to climb, run, imagine, and create.
I would 100% agree with that.
I do too. I agree with this. According to some early childhood research, children who begin formal academics later show no disadvantage in long-term achievement and often have stronger mental well-being and develop a love of learning.
Wow.
How about that?
You know, what I think kids miss out more today is just physical interaction,
Yeah.
communication more than anything else. What would school been like for us if the monkey bars hadn't been there, or the merry-go-round,
Yeah.
or the swing set, or
Yeah.
the woods? We had woods at Crockett
Yeah.
School. We went out in the woods,
Yeah.
and caught chicken chokers and stuff like that. And so,
Yeah. Yeah.
but if you ever gotten in a fight on the monkey bars, that creates some camaraderie right
Yeah.
there, and you hit a few bars on the way down, and
Yeah.
and you learn those things. Hey, life hurts sometimes, and tomorrow happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I like the idea of a little kid getting to be a little kid
yeah, me too.
and play,
Yeah, I like it.
and they learn by playing.
Oh yeah,
They learn while playing.
yeah,
Their curiosity, they learn how things. My grandson learns how things come apart.
yeah, exactly. Well, even
They learn how they put them back together.
even if you don't like me, I may have told you this story. I was the #1 worst baseball player in Lawrenceburg history, I guess. And I played ball because my brothers played ball, and it was just a thing to do. But I had a good coach. Glenn Tidwell was my coach, and Glenn taught the fundamentals of baseball. And even though I couldn't play baseball as well as I wanted to, I learned a lot of things by being on the team, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And those are lessons that I took through life, even more than lessons I was in the classroom learning.
Oh yeah.
Lessons I learned in the ball field, how to be a part of the team, even though
Right.
you might be the smallest part of the team, you're important. And so I totally agree with that.
Let me read a little bit of this. It says,
Yeah.
play builds the brain's foundation for focus, problem solving, and creativity.
Yeah.
Because curiosity grows best when it isn't crushed by pressure. Because early joy in learning lasts longer than early speed. I think that's pretty cool. Equating early with better, this is what we do. We're equating early with better. Treating play as optional instead of essential. Measuring worth by test scores instead of wonder.
Wow.
How about that? Meanwhile, science is whispering, slow down. Childhood is not a race to the finish line. It is the soil in which a love of learning grows. And I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So let them play in the dirt. Let them ask endless questions. Let them linger.
Yeah.
And some playtime. Good stuff. Especially
like
when they're little.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I've missed out on a lot of that in my kid's life. And so,
Yeah.
but
I agree with
and
it.
a lot of folks do.
I agree with it.
And
Seems like the more we learn, the more we learn.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Very good. Lifelong learning is a good thing too.
Yep.
I think that's good. Well,
Well, way to go, Jeff. You killed all the talk about the road.
I didn't mean to kill it. In fact, I'll come back to that
I'm just
because
kidding.
I got a text message from one of our retailers who we would know,
Okay.
and said that the retailers don't want that. That you were right. Your point about that was we like the traffic count on the main drag.
That's right. In fact, the traffic count from Mile Crossing to Walmart is the highest traffic count in Lawrenceburg. So that's the most sought after properties for retail.
Well, the traffic count, even though it's frustrating sometimes when you're driving it, it is good for business. As a matter of fact, I had someone with me within the last 2 weeks that was looking for commercial property. This was a commercial interest, looking for commercial property up and down the strip for a particular purpose.
Yeah.
And the traffic count was mentioned more than once. And because I talked about several locations and put him on a different spot in town, no, the
Yeah.
traffic count's not what we want there. So it's a major deal.
Well, you heard it here first. I've got I've heard that Starbucks may not be coming.
Oh, really?
So have you heard that?
It wouldn't surprise me.
So
That wouldn't surprise me that changes.
yeah, it's because they offloaded some of the traffic over to Springer Road.
Is that what-
No, I'm just teasing about that. But somewhere through the grapevine, I heard that, and it had some credence to it, and so I thought,
Well,
that's to be seen.
we certainly
I
have
hope it's not the
we
case.
certainly have a large quantity of coffee places.
Isn't it amazing how retailers follow trends? So
Yes.
right now in the retail market, even with Quick Mart, coffee is big.
Coffee's huge. It must be.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Well, I mean, I pay for coffee every morning,
Yeah, me too.
just about every morning.
I do too. And there are some people out there that's not afraid to pay $7, $8, $9 for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I don't, but
Yeah, me either.
but and even if you don't think you're paying for coffee, if you make it home, you paid for coffee.
Exactly.
So so you're buying coffee all the time. But I am, of course, I like the drive-through getting in the mornings, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't want to get out because I'm headed into the. So my pit stop for coffee is usually McDonald's. I'll grab McDonald's coffee.
And that coffee's hot, by the way.
It is hot. It's good.
So you can't.
And even if it's not hot enough, I'll zip it in the microwave.
I
when
don't
get
like
here.
microwave coffee. It tastes different for whatever reason.
Well, I haven't noticed it tasting different, but I heat it up sometimes if I let it get too cold, because it's got to be hot.
Well, not to change the subject, but
Okay, well you can.
just I started reading my Bible differently about a month ago,
Yeah.
and being more deliberate. I think I may have got the idea from you to slow down a little bit and to
Okay.
study as you're reading. And you know, it's one thing to say I read the Bible through, and you probably have read the Bible through, but do you still get to places where you read a piece of scripture and you think, I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
But you've read the Bible through, and so
Yeah.
you've had to read it sometime.
Or you
or
get
other.
some little insight that you didn't see before.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
So it's taken me a little over a month, and I'm like on Genesis 15 right now. But I'm slowing down, and I'm actually looking things up as I go. That's, you know, things that they're just thrown in there that I'm thinking, what does that mean, or why is that there for? What purpose is that there for? And so anyway, it's fascinating, and so it's totally different than just reading your Bible every day. You know what I mean? Studying your Bible every day and reading your Bible every day are two different things, and it's a good way to start your day. So if you're looking for a good way to start your day, that's a perfect way. And then what was nice was it started raining during Bible study day, and I'm like, wow, thank you, Lord.
There you go.
What a blessing.
What a blessing. That's right. That's right. Well, you can't start. That is one of, if not the best way to start your day.
Yeah.
Is with some of the Word. I try to a little bit every day. I listen to it while I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I do.
Yeah.
And let's get another phone call in. Somebody wants to talk to us. Hey, good morning. You're on WDXE with us.
Keith is reading the Bible perfectly. I doing the same thing. A few years ago, I read it through, they had the daily Bible readings, and I read through it. And I think some days I just read through it fast to get through it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And now it's still, but something I might suggest that he might like to do is I looked it up and printed off chronologically, the Bible chronologically to read it through.
So you started in the book of Job then, right?
No, it starts in Genesis. But
Okay.
then,
Oh, and then goes to Job.
it starts in Genesis, but, it's really interesting. Like I was reading in Numbers the other day, and it threw in a thing from Psalms.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that pertain to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he might think about doing that. And I agree. I'm reading it slow. I'm reading. Some days, mine is still divided up in days, but sometimes I'll read 2 or 3 days worth because it's so interesting.
Amen. Good for you. Good for you.
But I'm just saying that he's doing it great, and I encourage him to keep it up.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
And
very
I'll tell
much.
I tell you the kind of things that come across my mind, like when you're reading the story of Adam, and Abel is killed, Cain kills Abel, and then I forget what it's at the end of one of the chapters. It's early on, but it says and Adam and Eve had another son. His name was Seth. And then the next sentence says, and then men began to call upon the name of the Lord after he was born. So what does that mean? Was there a time of lawlessness, or is that did God no longer walk on the earth? Because when you read the first part of Genesis, God was very interactive. He was in the garden, and
That's true.
And he walked around. So does that mean that now they prayed to God, or what does that mean? You know, I never stopped to think about that.
What's hard for me to get my mind around is how much time passes.
Yeah.
From one verse to another.
That's right.
In
There's
Genesis.
a lot.
In Genesis.
There's a lot.
Because Adam lived to be what 900 some odd years, and I seen a timeline of these men who lived, put together.
Yeah.
And I believe I'm right about this. That Noah might have known Adam.
Sure.
Noah might have known Adam.
Yeah.
And of course, Adam died before the flood.
Yeah.
Okay, because Noah lived quite a long time before the flood. Anyway, but for those people to live hundreds of years is unthinkable to us.
Yeah, that's right. And Methuselah was 969 years old, and he either died in the flood or he died we know he died the year of the flood. If you line those up chronologically, those
pretty incredible.
It's neat.
Pretty incredible to think about it. From the time that Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, it could have been hundreds of years before they had Seth.
Yeah, could have been.
We don't know.
That's right.
So a lot of time had passed, and it's our country. Our country is 250 some odd years old.
Yeah, next year 250.
So you think about somebody who had lived
900 years.
Even it's hard for us to think about somebody that would have been living 200 years.
Yeah.
Or 250 years or 300 years.
Yeah.
My great grandfather lived to be 95, and was born in Giles County, and lived at a time when there were probably still some veterans of at least World War I.
Oh, they definitely Civil War,
and maybe even Civil War.
Yeah.
He would have been born during a time when there were still veterans of the Civil War.
Yeah,
and it's hard. It's kind of hard to get your mind around all that. So think about that.
Yeah, my grandmother would have known people that fought in the Civil War.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's weird to think that. Also, if you think about when my grandmother was born, she was born in 09, I think, 1909 or 1908. How many presidents we've had since then? She died in her upper 90s also. But it seems like that people with a more simpler life. I know that might be a bad way to put it, but my grandparents lived a very simple life.
Yeah.
And to my knowledge, they never owned a vehicle. Things like that, and so never had any money and to speak of, and just lived life. And they were the happiest people I ever knew.
Yeah.
So,
very
happy people, and they raised a happy family. When we get together, there's no fighting. There hasn't been since I've been around.
Well, what a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what a blessing. That's actually a gift from God there, no doubt.
I'll throw this in case she's listening. Even if Terry's cake don't turn out right, we still tried. It's good.
Well, it sounds like I need to come visit y'all's family. So.
Oh, we have a big dinner all the time.
Not that we have a bad one, we have a good one too. So we do. Always getting together. It is. We got a couple more minutes left.
Wow,
Hold on, just a minute. Turn the mics off there. I'm choking.
That's all right.
But anyway, we got a couple of minutes left, and maybe somebody else wants to talk to us. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I think Peggy's calling back.
There you go.
Hey.
Yes, I hope y'all have more programs like this, because I have learned more about what's going on with Springer Road and why I'm up and down Douglas and First Street and some of the roads, because I didn't realize what was causing. But another thing are these big trucks that come through, and there's nothing to slow them down or whatever. But the second thing has to do with studying the Bible. I like Jacob and Keith, when you talk about this, the other day I heard a minister talk about how Lydia was the first convert in Europe. until, well, it was had to do with the printing press and the Reformation. Anyway, all that
Yeah.
came about a little bit later than that. Sounds conflicting. Well, that's really important. Let's say a kid's in college, and it sounds like it's not true. I think maybe, I don't know Hebrew, but I think maybe that just meant it was the first convert that wasn't in Asia or Africa. But I just wanted to throw that out because that's something I'm thinking about and exploring.
All right.
There you
Good.
go.
I hope you do this again.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing it as often as you want to come in.
Yeah.
That's fine. And we need to find more subjects because
Yeah,
we don't want to wear one subject out.
We can wear Springer Road
We
out.
can wear that out. It's already about wore out.
We can move on to North Military.
We
next
go
if you
North
want to.
Military. I like North Military. I scoot up and down it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was telling earlier this morning that sometimes when I'm in the office and I've just had enough of being in the office, or I just want to think about something, I jump in the car, or my truck actually, and just go for a ride.
Yeah, that's good, ain't it?
I just like to get out and go for a ride, and I'll clear my mind or think about whatever I'm going to think about and try to come up with a solution. And of course, I ended up, and what's funny is I'll leave the office and think that I've got everything kind of like I want it. I get in the office and get in the truck, and I'm gone 5 minutes. Go, oh yeah, I need to call so-and-so. And so I'm calling that one, or I call
Yep.
back the office and ask Lori to handle something that I forgot while I was there.
Yep.
It just kind of puts me back in the center. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, turn your phone off.
What?
When you go down the road, turn your phone off.
Well, I don't need to do that.
Or there used to be a place. So one of the things I love about my job is I service all 39 of our locations.
Yeah.
So I can, on any given day, I'm in between Lawrenceburg and one of those locations.
Sure.
And it, like you say, it's a solace to be in the cab of that truck and driving and getting away from the hustle and bustle. But I used to love that drive from Waynesboro to Savannah because there was no cell phone service and very little radio.
Yeah.
You could get some Mississippi stations, and
Yeah.
so I just tune in to
Mississippi stations are not, they're a different world.
Yeah, they play slower music, which is okay with me.
Different world over there.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Well, we have filled up an hour.
Yeah, we have.
Guest today's been Keith Durham for the Friends and Neighbors Hour. And of course, you'll be back, well, maybe back tomorrow.
Yeah,
if
maybe
you
for a
can work
minute.
it out.
I've got some meetings I've got to be in a part of tomorrow.
So the Quick Mart Hour is coming up tomorrow. But good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
See you next time.
Broadcast services of Prospect Communications.